Brad Holmes brings him in. He says, come here, young man.
Whoa.
I'll show you how to be a player.
Oh, my.
He's a thick, girthy man to fill up those holes. Plug those holes with some girth. And, you know, we have Lee McNeil. We have Brockers. But after that, with no Levi, you're going to need some guys to step up. Sawed off Demetrius Taylor.
Yeah.
He's winning the hearts of Dan Campbell, of Aaron Glenn. Malcolm Brown is a guy who screams Brad Holmes. Screams it. Yeah, screams it. Tell them about the big dogs, the big hogs,
The heavyweights.
Yes.
Levi Onwuzurike, as you guys know, is questionable for week 1 already. Actually, Dan Campbell's already said it. He doesn't expect him to play week 1.
Yes.
And we kind of went on a tangent yesterday. Oh, Ndamukong Suh, and what are we gonna do? And like more so freaking out about Levi and his return. And the actuality, Levi in his rookie year only gave us 35 tackles and 1 sack. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like there's much production missing. And no disrespect to him. You know what I'm saying? It's his rookie year, and I'm giving him like some slack, and he missed a couple games too. Obviously, he had the back injury. So like, it's not like we're missing much production. However, today I want to do. As I'm going there, I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the guys that would replace him on the line, and guys that I'm fairly confident in. And one of the names that came, by the way, today too, I guess Isaiah Buggs moving to 3-tech, and Lee McNeil moving more so into Levi's spot. Okay. Just because he's so damn athletic, like you said, former outfielder, bro.
Yes.
Like that guy as an that's insane. That's wild. But nonetheless, I'm gonna start one. Easy one, the commish, I believe his name is, John Kaminsky. I think he actually was the one who put on the pressure on the Colts quarterback to kind of seal the deal for the game winner of Detroit Lions on the last preseason game. Stop reading the chat, you little nasty.
The chat's going
Isaiah
so hard
Buggs getting looks at nose tackle as well. I just told you guys that, and that's why I'm seeing Lee move over to that shade spot. But the name that I like that intrigued me the most is undrafted free agent, because it looks like Brad Holmes did it again, Demetrius Taylor.
Demetrius
Taylor. I was back there. You always yell at me, "You're never out here with me." Blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, I was back there watching Demetrius Taylor. You know, whatever YouTube tape was available. He went to Appalachian State, RIP Michigan. But his nickname from AG's Sawed Off. You know what I'm saying? Sawed Off. Yeah. Because he's exploding off the line. And he does, bro. 100% it's there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? At 6'1", like 300 pounds, I want him to bulk up a little bit. And again, this is an undrafted free agent. Like maybe the practice squads was what they thought he fell into, but we're at a point now, Levi out and just other injuries around the defensive line. This kid might make the 53-man roster. Yeah. And he's doing it. I'm looking over some of his stats, too, in college. In 65 games, he had 136 tackles. This is interior defensive lineman. 26.5 sacks. Put a little edge, too. 45.5 tackles for losses. 1 interception, 5 forced fumbles, and 10 pass deflections. I think Brad Holmes might have got
those are some damn good numbers.
I think Brad Holmes might have got another one. I'm just saying. Yeah. I mean, we'll see if he makes the roster, but that's just one guy coming up this week especially. I'm keeping an eye on.
It's coming. Yeah, we got those big boys in there. Like you said, with the injuries that we've suffered so far on the defensive line, we talk about both the Okwaras. We talk about Pascal. We talk about Levi. Like, these guys are going to be out. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of these guys didn't make the 53-man roster. You look at Kaminsky. He's been going crazy, making a lot of plays in preseason. Same with Austin Bryant. Everybody's talking about how they love Austin Bryant, blowing people up. He was scaring people from the Colts reporters. Obviously, it all starts with Lee McNeil. That's what we have. That is the known commodity. That is the guy that we're putting there. We got Michael Brockers, too, who's no slouch. No slouch at all. Michael Brockers is another good piece to have there. But to rotate these guys in, like you said already, with Isaiah Buggs, with Kaminsky, the commish, with Austin Bryant, and with sawed-off Demetrius Taylor, who is winning the hearts of the Lions coaching staff. He's winning the hearts of Dan Campbell, of Aaron Glenn, of Todd Walsh. Like, these guys are so in depth on what these guys are doing in practice. They're not worried about where you came from, what college you went to, where you were drafted, if you were drafted, and how much money you're getting paid. They want to see it. They want the results. They know players because they are players. So when they see a guy out there dominating on the defensive line, they don't care if he was a second-round draft pick like Levi or he was an undrafted free agent like Demetrius Taylor. They bring these guys in. They're like, all right, this is going to fit. He's going to work. We can use him. So that is another guy. But don't sleep on them bringing in a guy. bringing in a solid vet, bringing in a guy who has the track record. Because, yeah, it's awesome to have these guys that really haven't been there, haven't done that. But when you're relying on 4 of them, like we said, with Austin Bryant, Kaminsky, Bugs, and Demetrius Taylor, it gets a little much there. Malcolm Brown was brought in to the Lions facility yesterday. They talked with him. They spoke with him. He was recently cut. Malcolm Brown is a guy who screams Brad Holmes. Screams it. Yeah, screams it. He is a Brad Holmes guy. He is a 28-year-old former first-round pick that might not have worked out where he was at first, so he got a little chop, got out of there. But Brad Holmes brings him in, says, "Come here, young man.
Whoa.
I'll show you how to be a player.
Oh, my.
I'll show you how to do this." Like you did with Charles Harris. Like you see him doing with other guys. So if they can bring in Malcolm Brown, 6'2", 320 pounds in his career, 160 solo tackles, 13.5 sacks, 27 tackles for loss, and 26 quarterback hits. This guy gets it done when he's in there. He is productive when he's in there. He is a run stopper when he's in there. He's a thick, girthy man to fill up those holes. Plug those holes with some girth. And, you know, it is awesome that we have this kind of battle, these rotating pieces to start off, and then you can bring in a guy like Malcolm Brown to be another part of that, to show these younger guys, hey, this is the position you got to do. This is how you get off of the tackle. This is how you get off of the guard. This is how you make sure he doesn't touch you. This is how you get off when you're a thick man and you fill that hole and you don't pull out. You just keep filling. So I am somewhat excited to see this defensive line battle because it's going to be open for grabs. Like we said, we have Ali McNeil. We have Brockers. But after that, with no Levi, with no Pascal healthy, you're going to need some guys to step up. And whether that's Austin Bryant, Kaminsky, Bugs, Demetrius Taylor, or somebody they bring in, they're going to have some guys, new faces, new numbers on that defensive line, playing serious minutes in the beginning of the season. So I'm excited for it. I think Austin Bryant is probably at the top of the list because he's been showing out. He's been going crazy. Kaminsky's up there too. He's been playing very well. But it seems like Demetrius Taylor, like you said, sawed off, is rising up the boards. He's rising up the ranks. Yeah. And, again, you could bring in an outside source like Malcolm Brown. Yeah. Maybe in the Dom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get you on that because that's not going to happen. But
I would love the Dom.
You're going to need the help on the defensive line.
100%. I think start off with a solid option there, or a sneaky option, I should say, because he's not even guaranteed to make the 53-man roster. But with the amount of injuries we have, I could definitely see it playing out. And, again, when we're done with the stream, after you guys hit that like button, I encourage you to look up some Demetrius Taylor highlights because they're fun to watch. Yeah. He was an edge back in Appalachian State. I mean, he moved around, kind of like a guy Josh Pascal, but he got after it. Dude's an explosive guy. I think he's like 6'1", 295 pounds. I was getting real nerdy back there. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. But I'm looking at Malcolm Brown's numbers too, and I guess he has a former relationship a little bit with Todd Wash, our defensive line coach. And even last year, back when he was with Jacksonville, he had 2 sacks still. Still productive guy. It's not like he's like old and out of shape and stuff like that. Like, bring in Malcolm Brown, bro. I'm down for it. Especially, again, we said it before we even got to the preseason. They asked us, you know, what's the most important position on this defense for them to excel? And we said the interior defensive line. We went more specifically in Lee McNeil, which I'm fully confident Lee McNeil is going to deliver on that as well. But you throw in a guy like Malcolm Brown, because we already heard Lee McNeil may be moving to that shade, you know, tackle spot versus nose tackle. Well, Malcolm Brown's got that nose tackle spot locked down. You know what I'm saying? He was part of that Patriot regime that won a couple Super Bowls. Yes. He got a couple of those in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? He does. Fingers a little shiny. Yes, he does. Let him hold down that nose tackle spot. Let's see Aleem get versatile on the other tackle spot. We have number 2 overall pick, who is a surefire stud. I'm saying it right now. Outside of injury, and I know he hasn't hit the field, but we've seen AG say it twice now in Hard Knocks. We've seen AG, and even beyond that too, even in like the press conference and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got faith in Aiden. And we know what Charles has done. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you Charles is a stud for sure, like trying to sell you on that, but like 7.5 sacks last year on a bad team that weren't in a lot of passing situations because we were constantly getting our asses kicked. Yep. For 7.5 sacks to come out of that, I mean, pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it's not, you know, nobody can just go out there and luck into 7.5 sacks. Like, Charles Harris is a good player. He is another Brad Holmes guy that you bring in, that kind of reclamation project. And he says, "Come here, man. I'm going to show you how to be a player in this league. And he did it.
Yeah.
And he could do that again with Malcolm Brown. Come here, man. I'm going to show you how to recapture that glory. You're going to be the man up the middle for us. And I love it, man. Honestly, so if you can bring in that guy, whether it's Malcolm Brown, whether it's someone else, I'm just saying that because they had him in the building, and he seems like he fits the criteria for that kind of Brad Holmes pick. An under 30, former first-round pick who kind of flamed out but showed he has some serious talent.
Yeah.
That could be a guy you bring in here, get him on a cheap 2-year deal, prove-it deal, and he goes out there, he produces for you.
100%. I don't know like many other defensive tackles on the market. Obviously, we know Ndamukong Suh. I was trying to excel you guys on that. I don't think I have to sell anybody on that one. I think if the opportunity given to us, everybody, including Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, would love to have the Ndamukong Suh. It's just like you said. He's probably looking more so for a contender or the bag. I'm just saying, $9 million at this age, though. You know, this type of production he's giving now, I feel like it might be worth it. Am I crazy for wanting to give Ndamukong Suh $9 million?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Worth it. Worth it.
You're just in love with him.
Guy wants to know any rumors on Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith got slapped on the hand a little bit. The NFL told him he has to find his own agent. He said he can't be because of tampering considered.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody else call and say you want to come to our team, it's considered tampering. So he's got to find an agent. He's reported back to training camp. But let's be real about it. He's not coming to Detroit. We can't afford that, man. One of the reasons he wants to get traded, he wants to get re-signed. If he's getting re-signed, his current market at the linebacker position is upwards of $20 million.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff's the 4th highest paid player in the league. We can't afford that right now, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Had we drafted him in the league, well, the second round, I'm just saying, maybe.